Red Eye. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Shillue. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tease Deck. Andy?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, a former Miss Universe fat shamed by Donald Trump brushes off attempted murder accusations. And what is with Trump having to constantly battle women who have been accused of murder? It's a little Vince Foster humor for you there. Plus, Elon Musk announces his plans to colonize Mars and save humanity. Hey, somebody's got to do it. Who's going to do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? And finally, a Salvadoran man has been digging a hole for 18 years straight. Some days I know the feeling, buddy. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. She's been called the Millennial Master of the Universe, which I believe makes her a female reboot of He-Man. CEO of the Marketing Zen Group, Shama Hyder. He knows more about North Korea than the people who live there.
It's true.
Observer columnist Michael Malice. He can kill a man just by touching the trigger of the gun he has pointed at him. Former U.S. Army Special Forces officer Ben Collins. And you'd think he'd play an instrument given how much time he spent on MTV, but I guess the network changed. Sitting right next to me, comedian Andrew Schulz. Okay, let's start the show. The presidential election could hinge on this. Was Donald Trump rude to Miss Universe 20 years ago? Alicia Mercado says after she gained weight following her pageant win in 1996, Trump nicknamed her Miss Piggy, Miss Housekeeping, and Miss Eating Machine. All nice names. And he forced her to work out in front of reporters. Hillary Clinton brought up Trump's alleged fat shaming during Monday's debate, and her campaign released an ad featuring Mercado talking about how his words hurt her. Bottom line, she's the perfect advocate for Hillary, right?
You were accused of driving a getaway car from a murder scene. You were never charged with this. The judge in the case also said you'd threatened to kill him.
Okay, she was once accused of serving as her boyfriend's murder accomplice and threatened to kill a judge, but Mercado quickly put the speculation to rest.
I just want to give you a chance to address these reports that the Trump surrogates are talking about.
He can say whatever he wants to say. I don't care. You know, I have my past. Of course, everybody has. Everybody have a past. And I'm not a saint girl.
She's not a saint girl. So does Mercado have anything to hide? Here's what happened when a member of her family threatened to go to the police. Wow. Michael Malice. I think it's Machado, but you know, I'm not too careful with that. Is it Machado? I think it is.
Machado.
That's what I've been told. Careful. All right, it's all right to mispronounce names every once in a while. Michael Malice, could you tell me what's up with this lady? Is this going to hurt Trump? All of a sudden, I mean, I thought it was going to hurt him, but now she seems to be a bit of a mess.
Well, first of all, she gained like 80 pounds, right? So if I'm used to fat people killing and they're killing themselves with, type 2 diabetes, that's what I was worried about. But in all seriousness, if you're going to be a beauty pageant contestant, you're there to be judged on your looks, but you're also going to be judged on your poise. And that means you speak well in interviews and you speak kindly of others. And being a hatchet woman for, the Wicked Witch of the West Wing is not exactly in keeping with the beauty pageant standards.
Well, she is not a saint girl. She is. She's already said that.
I thought it was so funny because to me it's like, I'm not a saint girl because I have a cupcake instead of going to the gym.
Yeah.
Not because I've been accused of helping someone murder someone.
Yes, she didn't seem to want to deny those charges, right?
No.
Well, she was accused, Shama, of calling the judge and threatening him, but I think that's just the way they do things down there.
Mm-hmm. It is Venezuela.
Is it?
Wow.
Oh, this happened in Venezuela?
I think, yes.
I thought it was here.
No, it's...
Oh, it's fine. Why are we judging you on American standards? Listen, sometimes you got to kill a judge in Venezuela. This is how it goes.
No, just threaten.
We don't have condoms or toilet paper. You got to do what you got to do.
Look, it's tough. I mean, even back then, we're talking about the 90s.
The 90s.
Remember the 90s when you could kill judges. I'm so nostalgic.
I mean, things were different. Also,
Yes.
the standards. I think these days in beauty pageants, you have them cutting out the swimsuit edition, and it's focused more on talent and answers to questions, things like that. Do you like this kind of movement?
I don't believe in those parts of the beauty pageant.
You don't.
Where they're talking, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I really don't. For what? You know what I mean? It makes no sense. If we want to see talking, we'll watch news shows. You should just walk and then do in the heels, which is very difficult.
It is.
And then do the turnaround and then come back.
That's true. They're not. I don't even think they're doing the heels anymore.
Can we just acknowledge, that she looks great now? So clearly Trump's words affected her in a positive way.
You may be right. She does look fantastic.
She looks phenomenal now.
Years later.
Exactly. So every time she says hello to her grandkids, she should say thank you to Donald Trump that she's alive still.
Yeah, there you go, Ben. What do you think? Trump, it was similar to the birther thing. He said, I think Obama did him a favor.
Yeah, but I mean, look, we're also talking about 1996. I mean, that was 20 years ago. And just for fun, I said, let's just see what Hillary Clinton said in 1996. I mean, let's just pull something out. Let's see. What did she say in 1996? That was the year she busted out the super predator comment, saying that
the one time I liked Hillary,
and that was the time she landed in Bosnia under sniper fire.
Bearded Shillue is different, huh?
Yeah.
Bearded Star Trek. They put the beard on it. It's the evil version.
His twin. Yes.
But yes, I mean, you go back 20 years.
20 years. We've all said dumb things 20 years ago. I said dumb things 20 minutes ago. But I mean, this is in a presidential debate. I mean, look, part of it was just, look, for me, we've got, 10,000 soldiers in Afghanistan, 5,000 soldiers in Iraq, but let's not worry about that. Let's talk about in the debate, let's talk about a beauty pageant fat shaming.
Isn't it true? We have, Trump is seeming to be the unserious candidate, but who is pulling all this stuff out? It's Hillary. That's her game, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, he missed the opportunity to throw it right back in her face for all the things that she did. Things that she said, but
I think he said he was trying to be nice. Wasn't he trying to be a gentleman?
He was clearly a lot of my friends on the left think Trump's out of control. He can't take orders. He was clearly coached, and he bit his tongue and even said, I'm biting my tongue about your husband. So this was a very Trump that we've seen before, and I think it played very well for him because so many people in America thought, oh my God, this guy's a literal lunatic who's going to destroy this country. Like, oh, he's just like a boring Republican.
I don't think he can win. Shama, people say he's got to watch it. He's a hothead, and they say he's got a temperament problem. But then when he doesn't come out swinging, they say, oh, look, he let Hillary get away with it.
Yeah, I don't think Trump can win in the public rhetoric, right? Like, if he does one thing, it's too far to the left. If he does one thing, it's too far to the right.
Yeah.
So I think he's just got to stick to his basics. And he did that during the debate.
Yeah, and I think he's, I don't know, I'm a little worried now because he said he's going to come out swinging next time. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, moving on. It's not just celebrities who are against Trump. It's also celebrity cruises.
Far from the talk of building walls, far from the threats of keeping people out, far from the rhetoric of fear is a world of differences. Differences that expand and enrich us. Because, after all, our lives aren't made better when we close ourselves off to the world. They're made better when we open ourselves up to it. Celebrity Cruises.
Well, apparently the ad isn't just an attack on Trump. The CEO of Celebrity said, quote, it's in response to the rhetoric around the world. And she isn't worried about losing passengers, noting, anybody that truly looks at this and says we're not going to sail on Celebrity again, they're probably not sailing on Celebrity. There's one celebrity cruise that I want to take.
The editors of the Weekly Standard invite you to join them for our December 2016 post-election cruise to the beautiful Caribbean.
No.
Now, hey, come on.
That's not real.
That's a real cruise. Post-election.
Yeah, you got to get a lobotomy before you get on board.
Andrew, wouldn't you love that? Partying down with William Crystal?
Yeah, just suits on a cruise.
It's like snakes on a plane, but with paper hats.
It's
What
not
else are you
just...
supposed to do on a cruise?
Exactly. The people who read the magazine, they want to hang out with their favorite conservative celebrities, right? It's interesting that it's after the election. Well, what do you think, Shama? What do you think about this celebrity cruise? I think it's obviously an anti-Trump ad, but...
I think it's brilliant marketing is what it is. Like, the marketer in me is like, high five celebrity.
Really?
Right? Because any other point in time, time, it's just an ad. No one pays that much attention to it. But they do it now, right? They play off the Trump rhetoric. And guess what? We're talking about it right here. Look how much play they're getting. If
You're
I'm
right.
their CMO, I'm giving myself a raise.
But what do you about the idea that Trump fans, they're very sensitive, we know that. I mean, you see them all over the place. They're going to boycott celebrity.
Yeah, but for how long, right? That might last for a couple of months, but after a while, they're over it while the celebrity brand is being talked about.
Wow, that is interesting. I didn't look at it that way. Michael, do you agree?
People didn't like talking about celebrities until this ad. This changes everything. No, it's good business because having a passport is actually very highly correlated with voting Democrat. However, what it isn't is classy. At the same time, the last time you had a cruise that was classy, it's sunk in the bottom of the North Atlantic in 1912. So you can't really, it's embarrassing, and they're trying to reach a new audience because cruises have a very bad reputation. They reach a certain crowd, and this is them trying to reach the urban progressives, and it's a weak attempt to do so, in my opinion.
Well, and you mentioned the passport. I think a lot of these cruises, you don't need a passport. Am I right? The ones that
You've got to be able to have a passport if you're going to other countries. There's no way.
I think the cruises, we're going to, we have something called halftime. We're going to check on.
Okay.
But I think a lot of these
Andy's
cruises.
going to yell at me. Oh my God, Andy, I'm sorry.
This is what I think, and this is the thing that Andy can check up on. I think if you leave it from Miami, you can go out and you can go to the islands in Central America. As long as you come back to Miami, you don't need a passport for that. You just need some kind of, I think you need like a utility bill or something. I think. I don't know. Okay.
I'd like to just make a point about that.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, I don't think you should need a passport to travel to a country that's than yours. So
wait a minute.
Which is every country compared to America.
Any country that is worse than your country, you just go.
And that's what I was going to bring up. And I mean, if you actually look at the countries, they're saying that the election cycle in this country is so bad that we want to send you to Greece,
Egypt,
that's in the worst economic depression in a developed country since 1930s. We're going to send you to Paris, that's had the worst terror attack, within a year that killed 137. London, which has been told by us, by ISIS, that it's the next target.
And everyone's
but that's where we want to send you on this celebrity cruise because our election cycle here is so bad.
You
So that was in the
recognized all
video.
those cities? I didn't recognize any
See,
of them.
I'm telling you, I think.
Most people are like that. They didn't recognize any of those cities.
Whoa, what is that, Australia?
The idea is that they're also a publicly traded company, right? So I understand the marketing perspective, but they're a publicly traded company, so they're shareholders. And I really want to hear, to me, I was surprised that if I was a shareholder of this company saying, look, I don't care where you're going, left or right, just stay out of politics.
That's what I think. Now, Andrew, these cruises, to me, they don't strike me as, the kind of the world traveler. I feel like,
not at all.
it's like see the world. These things are basically floating buffets. I'm feeling like middle Americans are the ones that are going to be taking these cruises, right?
They know Trump doesn't like fat people. They know they like fat people. Very simple for me, right? I want the fat people. Trump doesn't like fat people. Fat people come to me. That's the marketing.
Chris Christie.
Oh, sorry, that's right.
Wait, hey, look.
He's lost a lot of weight.
Okay. Is reaching Mars closer than we think? On Tuesday, tech billionaire Elon Musk unveiled his plan to colonize the red planet and save humanity. Musk says we have two options: stay on Earth and eventually be wiped out by some doomsday event, or head out to space and become, quote, a spacefaring multi-planet species. His goal, get humans to Mars by 2024 on board a $10 billion rocket his company, SpaceX, is developing. Each spaceship would take 100 passengers on the journey, with trips planned every couple years when Earth and Mars pass close to each other. For anyone interested, Musk describes the selection process for the first potential colonists.
It would be basically, are you prepared to die? Then, if that's okay, then you're a candidate for going.
Michael, that's good marketing. If you want to die, we'll take you.
Go wrong with a ship full of suicidal people. Nothing to lose. It's going to be like Full Metal Jacket meets Alien meets Total Recall. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, at least he's getting the word out there. Shama, this is like the celebrity cruise of outer space.
He's going to get Al Qaeda on board this ship.
It's an ISIS ship.
It's an ISIS ship. That's how you solve the ISIS problem. Trump and Hillary didn't have a plan. If you want to die, great, get on the ship. Bye. Have fun killing people on Mars.
Forget Canada. We're just gonna go to Mars.
But Shama, I mean, he wants to do this. The thing is, there are people who want to do everything, right?
Right.
So I don't think he's going to have trouble finding 100 people who don't mind risking their life. But why do they want to go to Mars?
That is the easy part, right? This is such a bold PR move because chances of this actually happening in our lifetime, so nil. so nil.
Really?
But who's going to go out there? I mean, he's trying to raise money.
Yeah.
Anybody who's raised money from a tech perspective knows you need bold promises, right? And so this is a bold promise. Humanize Mars. People will talk about it. If he says, I want to do some research on Mars, figure out what minerals we can mine, right? That's not a great story.
I see. This is it. There's always a marketing angle to everything, right, Ben?
Yeah, but he also had a bold idea called PayPal and a bold idea called Tesla. So this guy's got a pretty good track record of actually delivering on his ideas. And look, to be honest, after watching that debate Monday, I probably would have signed up on one of the first guys to go on the ship. But
when you go to this, I think.
Look, I think it's fantastic. To be quite honest, I think it's fantastic because I mean, this country used to dream big and deliver. You know, I mean, and if you go back to like the 40s and the 50s in the space program, I mean, that was exciting and shockingly, it was government led. Government is now just one giant DMV. So if there's going to be any progress within technology, it's going to come from guys that can dream and deliver like Elon Musk. I say, way to go. We need more Elon Musks.
Wow, Schulz, look, you don't even want to go to another country.
No, I do like going. I travel. I used to live abroad. I've traveled. I just don't feel like I need a passport because it's. What you think? I'm moving here? You know, like I'm coming home. Don't worry about it. You see, but
excursions.
Exactly. We'll do a vacation, right? So, but here's the thing: when it comes to Mars, I'm against it because we know it sucks.
Yeah, that's the thing. The worst place on Earth
is better than Mars. Like Mars is New Mexico, right? They're pretty much the same. Only you get to jump higher in Mars, right? So that's the same. They look exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
Why would we go to New Mexico, jump higher, right? Why won't we wait for another planet that actually has some things that are cool that we can do there?
Because we can make Mars great again.
Fair enough.
It's true. I mean, I should say New Mexico is a great.
Give me that hat.
There's some great. Have you've been to some places, Albuquerque? You know, there's some nice towns in New Mexico.
Yeah, all right. If you've never been out of New Mexico, I could see how you feel.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna come after you. The New Mexicans.
No, because they don't leave New Mexico.
No, the Martians are coming out.
Oh, the Martians is possible.
You got to worry about them.
Listen, we can't gentrify Mars.
That's what I think, Michael. No matter if people want to explore, fine, whatever, but you can't live there. I mean, there's no atmosphere. It's bad.
One of the people who I went to North Korea with actually signed up to be one of the first people on Mars. She's like one of these extreme travelers. Yeah, like I'm sure he's got. Listen, I'm sure Elon
wasn't bad enough.
He wasn't bad enough. I'm sure Elon Musk wasn't like, hey, what about the oxygen? He's like, oh, damn it, oxygen. We got to give oxygen to these people. They've got this all figured out.
Yeah, they're going to live in a bubble, but that's not cool either.
It's not cool. They have this thing in Hawaii, this biosphere, where scientists live in there for like 10 years, and it's basically like the Big Brother house where they all hate each other and they're one step away from stabbing each other in the neck. So
I saw the Pauly Shore movie, and we know what it was like.
Yeah.
He said it'd be pizza, though.
Sounds like the army.
Let's send Pauly Shore. Okay, coming up. Is it a crime to mispronounce someone's name? No, but it should be. The story next. Inviting someone to play golf, asking someone, can I touch your hair? Telling a woman in leadership, I love your shoes. I think we all know what these are. Well, now we can finally add something to that almost offensively short list of microaggressions, mispronouncing someone's name. According to a campaign launched in 2015 by the school district in Santa Clara, California, and the National Association for Bilingual Education, mispronouncing a student's name can cause anxiety and resentment. When the child enters school and teachers, consciously or unconsciously, mispronounce, disregard, or change the name, they are, in a sense, disregarding the family and culture of the students as well, said University of California education professor Rita Kahali. Mispronouncing a student's name truly negates his or her identity, which in turn can hinder academic progress. This, according to another educator, Yi Wan. Other experts agree. On her blog called Cult of Pedagogy, former teacher Jennifer Gonzalez claimed that mutilating someone's name is a tiny act of bigotry. Whether you intend to or not, what you're communicating is this: your name is different, foreign, weird. If you want to learn more about the campaign, you can go to their website, mynamamiidentity.org. I don't know what that means, but they're doing great work. Okay, Shama, I almost didn't do this story because of your name.
Because it's weird and foreign and different.
It is a little different. It's different, but I like it. And I like the process of learning it. Like I probably would have called you Shama or Shama because
I've heard it both ways.
Yes, but it's kind of like Shama, right?
It's Shama. Mm-hmm.
Shama.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I like it. I like figuring out your name. I like you correcting me. I think it's fantastic.
I will tell you, Tom, that throughout school, right, I've had it mispronounced more than Mississippi is misspelled. Like, my name's just one of those things, but I can promise you that I never felt like it was an act of bigotry, right? As long as, like, this is my rule, as long as he gets it right in bed, I don't really care.
Wait, shouldn't you be screaming his name?
Yes. We are talking about your teachers, you know. This is educators.
I'm glad you caught that.
An apple a day.
I'm glad you caught that.
They told me this was a different kind of show.
It certainly is. It is now.
Shama.
Oh,
Shama.
Shama. There we go.
Shama.
Michael, I mean, the list of microaggressions.
Trying to think how I would say it.
No, I got it.
Shama mama.
No, you can stop while you're
Okay,
sorry.
He's close. He's
We're gonna cut this.
And we're out.
Michael.
Okay. Sorry.
What about your name, Michael? I mean, it might have been controversial because your name means it means
These people-
intention to do evil, doesn't it? Your last name.
These people should be shot. I'm an immigrant. I had a Russian name, and I got an American name when I came here. My high school is half Asian, and every one of those kids had an American name, including Elvis Au, who was in my homeroom.
Elvis Au?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the point is, when you're an immigrant and you come to a new country, you should want to assimilate as much as possible. And this is the extreme leftism we're seeing in the progressive movement, where they do everything they can to accommodate immigrants and expect immigrants to do nothing. And it's a disservice to both Americans, and a disservice to immigrants, and that's why these people have to be put up against the wall.
That is it. Wow.
North Korea style.
Well, no, put up against
more Stalin style, more efficient.
they did that back in when I was in school. You get against the wall. You line up. You stand against the wall.
no,
That's
that's
your
a
shot.
shot.
It was a firing
No,
squad.
I'm trying to give you an out, Michael.
No, the out is shooting them. I ain't kidding.
Let's go! Everybody's
style.
bearded Shillue today.
Ben.
Yes, T-O-M.
Shillue. Look, people had fun with my name, Shillue. You can imagine the things they did to it. But did it make me insensitive? No. No, it
Apparently
made me.
did.
It made me.
Super predator. Super predator.
You done messed up, T-O-M.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I try to get somebody's name right, but if I mess it up, excuse me, I'll try to do it better the second or the third time. Just don't take offense. But when you name your kid John, but there's a Q and an R and an F in there somewhere, I'm going to have a little problem with it, but just have patience.
That's right. It's the
to
unique
call it
spelling.
mutilating, like that's a microaggression for me. When I hear the word mutilating, I think of an ISIS video. I don't think of, AA Ron.
Yes, I think of terrible things, but just when I think of mutilating, but
Which is often, apparently.
I just, it brings up bad imagery for me, the word. But Andrew,
Yes.
what?
Shilloser.
You can bet it. You can bet I heard that a lot.
Hey, what's up, guys? Meet you back after school, okay?
But
Go Grease Lightning, go Grease Lightning, go. Sorry, go.
I don't even know what that last part was.
I'm Kaneki.
Okay.
He died. Have some respect.
Okay, sorry, go. What was it?
In the old days,
Yes.
there was just about 5 or 6 names. There was like
Wasn't it easier?
in my grammar school, it was like all Jimmys, Johns.
Yeah.
There was Debbie's, and there was
Nancy,
Patricia's.
Debbie,
That's all you need, right?
Yeah.
Pick one of those.
Dude, I'm so with you on this. I think I actually think it sets a bad precedent because so you're saying if an American pronounces an immigrant's name wrong, that it's a microaggression, right?
Yeah.
But what about the immigrant who is learning English that pronounces literally every word out of his face wrong?
Yeah.
Is he or she microaggressing against America?
Not at all. They're cute.
Should we set a precedent where we, punish them for these dangerous microaggressions against our culture? No. We go, okay, what are you trying to say?
I lost my accent.
Well, it's fine. My mom's an immigrant. I lived in Spain. Nobody could pronounce my name in Spain.
That's it.
And I was totally okay with it.
Celebrate diversity. Okay, coming up. Can a Halloween decoration be too creepy? Home Depot thought so, but first, Halftime with TV's Andy Levy is next. And don't forget, the Red Eye Podcast, it's back. Subscribe on iTunes and on FoxNewsRadio.com. Welcome back. It's time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy over in the Red Eye and News Deck. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good.
Excellent. Trump versus Miss Universe. Tom, you talked about how they're not even doing the swimsuit part of beauty pageants anymore.
Yeah.
In Miss Universe, they still do.
Still?
Yeah. I hope that makes you happy, Andrew.
It absolutely does make me happy.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Like to see you in one.
Oh. It's never going to happen. Ben, you talked about all the other things that happened back in 1996 and said, yeah, we've all said something stupid in the past 20 years. The weirdest part of this is she dismisses what may or may not have happened by saying we all have a past. But her whole thing here is something Trump did 20 years ago.
Well, we're not going to focus on the drive-by because who hasn't been a getaway drive-by?
Well, exactly, right. No, we all have. We all have. Also, I agree with you, Ben. It's insane that this is what people are talking about coming out of the debate.
Yep.
Both candidates in that debate made it clear they don't care about due process. They think Americans' rights can be taken away just because the government put their name on a list. But this
secretly,
is right
with a secret group.
Yes, but
this secret.
But this is what journalists want to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I will say though, you can't be Miss Universe and then put on weight. It's like winning a Nobel Peace Prize and then drone killing a wedding party. You just, it's crazy. You can't do it. It makes no sense.
Zing.
Celebrity cruises disses Trump. Shama, you said this is brilliant marketing because people are paying attention to it. I agree with that part. I'm not sure, though, is potentially offending half of Americans a good idea?
Don't forget about the offensive part, because remember celebrity cruises.
All right.
In that voice.
Especially now.
In that way.
The way you say that.
Yeah. I think I'm going to forget about celebrity cruises, but remember the offensive part. That's just me. Michael, you said this ad wasn't classy. Why not? What's not classy about it?
The fact that they're being so arrogant and dismissive of half the country and their political views.
So you would prefer they be a little more PC?
I think they would, yeah, probably.
Okay. That's a first.
Well, I'm a man of many mysteries.
Yes, you are.
Somebody should now have the basket of deplorables cruise.
Yeah. Tom, you were correct about the passport thing. U.S. citizens who go on a cruise, as long as it starts and ends at the same U.S. port, you do not need a passport. You just need proof of citizenship.
That's amazing. Wow, we're learning.
Yep.
So my philosophy's right, Andy.
Absolutely.
Ah, sweet.
They didn't tell me this was an educational show.
It is.
Only this little segment.
Dang.
Elon Musk lays out his vision for getting to Mars. I'm just going to address this to the whole panel. I don't know why all of you thought it was weird that Musk said there's a decent chance that the first travelers are going to die. That's what happens with pioneers. The people who came over here on the Mayflower knew there was a good chance they were going to die. The people that settled the American West knew there was a good chance they were going to die. That's what happens. Shame on all of you is what I'm saying. If it were up to all of you, this show would be taking place in London.
Ben did want to go.
I will, Ben. I am absolutely with you, Ben. I think this is fantastic. We need more people like Musk and like me, visionaries who are thinking about the future of our species and the advancement of humankind.
Sure.
Thank you for saying
Spend
that.
a weekend in Albuquerque and see how you feel.
You paying? Are you paying?
Am I paying?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll give you $25.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Shama, you said the chances of this actually happening in our lifetime are virtually nil, and that Musk is trying to raise money. You're absolutely correct. The purpose of this whole thing is to try to get NASA and other governments to invest in this. Musk has a lot of money. He don't have this much money.
No, this is billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Musk needs the money.
Billions more than he has. Tom, you said you can't live on Mars. There's no atmosphere. It does, in fact, have a thin atmosphere.
It does?
It's 95% carbon dioxide, but still it's an atmosphere.
That's it. Yeah, it's no atmosphere of mine.
I heard it got a lot fatter recently.
Mispronouncing students' names is a microaggression. Tom, excellent foreshadowing of this story by referring to Machado as Mikado.
I know.
That worked out well, I thought.
It's a certain skill set.
Also, when you pronounced Rita Coley, you sounded like Steve Martin saying Dr. Hafar in the Shama, after you said you don't care as long as he pronounces it correctly in bed, And then Andrew did his little thing. You said, you can cut this, right? We can. We can. We can.
We
won't. We
But
won't.
you won't, right?
But we could. Yeah.
Andy,
we absolutely could.
Andy and Shama, for the record, I'm already cut.
Oh gosh.
You have to cut this now. Thank you for that.
Shama.
This can't be trending on Twitter.
All of you watching this right now, get this trending on Twitter.
Yeah, get circumcision trending.
Yeah, maybe not that, but yeah. Lastly, Schulz, you agreed with Tom that we need to go back to the time when there were just 5 or 6 names. Don't you do a podcast with Charlemagne the God?
Oh.
And back in the day, Charlemagne was a very popular name.
That's true.
Okay?
All right.
He didn't make that name up. There was a Charlemagne.
You were just
in
going back a
France.
little further than Tom.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
They called him.
Yeah, Chucky M.
I am done.
Thank you, Andy. Coming up, why did Home Depot pull a Halloween decoration? They had to, after all of the complaint. Home Depot's website is selling a Halloween decoration called the Scary Creeper Peeper.
Yep.
You hang it outside the window and it looks like a man is peering into your house. Some people don't think it's very funny, specifically peeping Toms. Actually, it's a woman in Canada. She complained. She told a radio station it makes light of a very serious crime. Voyeurism is a crime in Canada. That the people that commit this crime are not harmless people. Home Depot listened and they've pulled the item from stores in Canada. And I agree wholeheartedly with the decision. Halloween was never meant to make light of crimes like murder or treason or perjury. You guys didn't laugh at that?
He committed perjury, not her.
Huh?
Bill committed perjury.
She just, I mean, come on. You guys, you're so technical. So technical. You can't even laugh at a Hillary Clinton joke. Wow. Shama, do you think, obviously, a little oversensitive here, Halloween is about scaring, is it not?
It is. Did that kind of look like Andrew?
Who?
Like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Be inspiration.
Kind of.
Peeper
I'm
Creeper.
getting him back for mispronouncing my name. Thank you very much.
It is true. You know, I thought it was good that Home Depot, you got to give them credit for not calling it a peeping Tom. I've always thought that was a bad name, peeping Tom.
Obviously, you would say, what they call it, a peeper?
Peeper Creeper.
Peeper Creeper. Yeah, I agree. Peeping Tom is bad because then people look at you like you might be a peeping Tom. Just
Yes, and it's not a hobby of mine at all.
Can we just acknowledge very quickly?
It's a vocation.
It's a career. I take this seriously.
It's on my LinkedIn.
If you're going to do it right.
Here's the thing, right? I think that we need to acknowledge, like, in today's, era, being a peeping Tom is kind of a compliment to somebody. Just because of all the internet porn out there, someone chose you. That is the ultimate compliment.
You're right.
You could see nude celebrities anywhere, and they want to watch you get
the
naked.
ultimate compliment's when you go in the house and then you wear their skin as your clothes. That's the ultimate compliment.
Listen, I didn't want to say it.
It's Halloween.
And there's way worse. Like every Sunday in Minnesota, people put on a Viking hat. What are Vikings known for? Going around raping and pillaging all of Europe. That's totally okay, but you do a little peeping Tom. You can't masturbate in someone's yard.
I don't think you're supposed to. I don't. Look,
Canada. Nonsense.
I told you it looked like Andrew.
Oh, it's right there. Holy crap, no, it's right there. Oh, I don't like that.
Wow. Oh, it's so creepy.
You didn't know that was looking at you? Ben, it is a little silly, right? At Halloween, we glorify murder.
Well, first of all, it's Home Depot.
Ben,
let me bring some.
it's murder.
Well, all right. So along those, look. What did they use to crucify people? They used wood. This is Home Depot. I am not so happy that Home Depot is selling wood because they used to use wood to crucify people. I should call Home Depot and say it's time that they removed all the wood from the Home Depot.
Very true.
That's next.
Very true.
That's next, isn't it, Michael?
Halloween is the one day for us children of darkness to have our fun, and it's not supposed to be safe. It's supposed to be scary and creepy, and you're supposed to be dressed like a ghost or a vampire or a witch or in blackface or a sexy nurse. And if you don't like it, go home and shut the hell up, because this is the devil's night. That's the one night we get. Everything else has to be Disneyfied and happy for your stupid, ugly kids. I don't care about your kids tonight. Tonight I'm putting the razor blades in the apples and I'm having my fun.
Look, I don't look at it as the devil's night. I never did, Shama. I think it's nice. So I'm not.
That's election night.
And I honestly don't like the murder. I don't like the axes through the head. I like the old-fashioned, the ghosts or the scarecrows or the hobos.
I was gonna go with candy, but okay.
Hobos, the homeless. Oh, it's great fun for the kids.
We did. I mean, half of my town. You know, we only had 4 names, and half of them dressed up as hobos.
They weren't dressed up; they were just homeless. Don't you get it?
It was like riding the rails. It was like glorified homeless. Fantastic. Okay, coming up. Why has one man spent every day for 18 years digging a hole? I'm sure he has his reasons. Coming up tomorrow on the next Red Eye, Dave Smith, Jill Dobson, Kristen Tate, and Rich Lowry. A man in El Salvador says God told him to start digging a hole 18 years ago, and he hasn't stopped since. Santiago Sanchez spends every waking hour digging. He excavates about 90 pounds of rocks a day. The 69-year-old sees it as the Lord's work, although he is a little selfish, telling a reporter, quote, "Only I am allowed to go to the end because I am God's tunnel digger. Nobody else is allowed to go there." Here's footage of Sanchez digging. I think that was a computerized simulation of Sanchez digging. Michael, my theory that the guy is trying to get away from his wife. What do you think?
Well, everyone who's married knows about digging a hole, right? But listen, what I think is this is the devil playing a joke on him, because that's how you get to hell. If he's like, hey, dig a hole, you're going to get closer to God. He's like, okay, 18 years later, he's like halfway to hell right now.
Well, I mean, he is digging. He's digging quite deep.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for 18 years.
That's...
But I'm a little suspicious, Ben. The way that he says, I'm the only one. I feel like it's a cover for something.
Well, he's not the only one, because I can tell you, if anybody's ever served any time in the Army, we spent weeks and weeks and weeks digging holes to nowhere, and they promised us that there was a point to it. And we still have. If you ask Andy, I promise you, there are people right now in basic training that are digging holes right now, and they still don't know where they're going.
They're digging holes.
It's just part of the way. So this guy's definitely being selfish. He's not the only one that's dug a hole to nowhere.
I mean,
besides the Democrats.
But do they make you fill them in again, or do you just walk away from the hole?
Well, it depends on what the mood of the day is. Sometimes we fill it in and then we'll redig it out, or we'll move rocks from one pile to another pile. And it sounds like there's no point, but there's a point.
Obviously.
The Lord knows. The Army knows.
Remember, be all you can be? I didn't know that's what they did in the Army.
Hey.
Schulz, what do you think? The man's digging a hole. What's his reason?
I don't think there's a hole.
What?
I just don't believe him.
You don't believe him?
Yeah, because I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And,
not required.
I got the thinking, Tom.
Yeah.
And what happens when it rains?
It
fills with water. What does the water just dry up?
I think it does. It probably sinks into the dirt.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
What?
Doesn't sink into the dirt. It would just sit there like a well. That's what it would do. What is this, super absorbent dirt?
You're right. I don't know.
Sham wow dirt out there in El Salvador?
Shama knows about these things. Is it super absorbent dirt?
I think it's super absorbent dirt, and I think we should introduce him to Elon Musk. Don't you think Elon Musk could put him to good use?
Oh.
You're right. He's a dreamer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like it's a great combination.
How has he not found a dinosaur?
He should.
These are questions that you got to ask.
But
Nobody's asking these questions.
Only we ask them. Thank you very much to my whole panel. Good night.